So, the other day, I got into a very interesting conversation with my dad. We were having a fairly basic conversation about Apple versus Windows, but the conversation slowly started to shift. We started talking about viruses and how they seem to be much more prevalent on Windows and why that is. We came to the conclusion that a large reason for this is because Apple has a more closed-off operating system compared to Windows. With Apple, you're buying pretty much everything from them, but with Windows you have many more options. You can buy from several different manufacturers like Dell, HP, and others, and you can build your own, which requires you to buy parts from lots of different manufacturers. This leaves the Windows operating system feeling more open compared to the Mac one. Now, the question of if it is definitely more safe is a lot harder to answer, but what seems to really matter is the feeling of safety. That brought us to the matter of Apple as a brand. My dad had a good experience with them in the past, and so had a feeling of safety from them. Another thing he said was that he felt he could trust Apple as a company because they made decisions that feel like they're on the same page as he is politically. But this got me thinking, because a company as big as Apple can't really have political beliefs. But what they can have is a team of PR people weighing out the odds of what decisions will have the best impact on their customers. Commercials have been a thing for a long time. The first television commercial aired on July 1st, 1941, and commercials have been a staple of the world ever since then. Of course, they've changed a ton since then, but the main concept of it has stayed the same. A person or people either tell you about a product or act out a skit that's focusing around them using the product. Now, you probably won't just go out and buy that product right away from the commercial, because you know that it's always going to show the product in a good light and not showcase any of its flaws. But what matters to the brand is that their brand name is now in your head, and if you're at, let's say, a grocery store and choosing between two brands, you may be more inclined to choose the brand that has the name or logo that has recognition for you. In general, it's always been very easy to recognize a commercial. It'll interrupt the program or whatever you're watching or listening to, but sometimes it's not quite as obvious. Let's play a little game. Now while you're playing, keep track of how many you got right and tell me in the comments down below. Also, if you're watching on the premiere, then you can tell me in the live chat right below the video. If you want to be watching during the premiere, I premiere videos every Saturday at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So what's going to happen is I'm going to show an image or logo relating to a brand on screen, and you're going to have to try to figure out what brand that goes with. The game will start out fairly easy and get harder as it goes on. So here we go. What brand is this from? 4 seconds are on the clock. So I'm guessing most of you got that. It was in fact the logo for Google Chrome. Here we go with question number 2. What brand is this from? 4 seconds are on the clock now. Another pretty easy one right there. It was in fact the Amazon Arrow. But enough with the freebies, now it's time to get a little harder. So what brand is this from? 4 seconds are on the clock now. So that one was a bit harder. There wasn't a logo, and the brand associated with the image isn't nearly as popular as the other two that I've shown to you. Yet a lot of you probably recognized it as the baby from the Grubhub ad for one simple reason. It became a meme. And now for the last and probably the hardest question of all. What brand is this from? 6 seconds are on the clock this time as there's a bit of reading. Now. Now this is just a tweet. But because I said it was from a brand and the contents of the tweet, there was a chance your mind jumped straight to Wendy's because of the reputation they've built for themselves. In an interview with Entrepreneur magazine, Wendy's chief marketing officer Kurt Kane explained that customers associate their brand with real people. So it had to act like a real person on Twitter. Quote, "The biggest thing we decided was to stop advertising to people and start having a conversation with people," Kane said. And that's the biggest thing. Instead of just putting their advertisements on social media, Wendy's acts like a real person. Their team of social media marketers respond to people in a way that makes it seem like there's a real person named Wendy typing from the other side of the screen. But why do they do this? Well, according to an article by the University of Southern California, quote, "Effective brands have a strong identity that consumers can relate to. Much of this is driven by a deep understanding of psychology, and brand marketers must develop the ability to make a mental connection with the customer. They use something called unconscious branding to make consumers have a pleasant reaction when the brand name is brought up." But is this inherently an issue? It doesn't seem to be hurting anyone at all, and product placement has been a thing for as long as social media has been around. Is it any worse than, let's say, a sponsor on a YouTube video? I don't really think so. As long as they aren't hurting anyone with the tweets or posing as a real person just to get endorsements, then I don't think it's too bad. You just have to remember that it's a company and a team of social media marketers behind the screen, and not your friend Wendy. And with that, thank you so much for watching. What do you think about brand relatability? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. The channel of the week this week is ItsLava. If you don't know, every week I share a channel that I've been really liking recently so that my audience can discover their content too. Lava makes some really great videos on a little bit of everything. My personal favorites are her rant on social media toxicity and her video on how to find motivation. If you like my videos, there's a really good chance you'll like hers too, so go check out her channel. The link will be in the description down below. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you want to follow my socials, the links are in the description down below for Instagram, Twitter, and my Discord server. And if you enjoyed the video and want to see more in the future, subscribe and hit the bell so you can know when I premiere my new videos. And like the video if you want to. So yeah, see you in the next one, and have an amazing day. Bye!